I'm Nature Nancy, and welcome to episode 2, which I call Rodents Rule. So after last week's episode, The Nest is Best, where we looked at the squirrel nest, the dray, I thought it'd be great to look at rodents and what makes a rodent special. So rodents are animals such as mice and squirrels and hamsters and rabbits and beavers, and even, if you can believe it, a porcupine. And they have something very special about them that makes them unique. So, if you want to come a little closer, I have a few skulls to show you. So the first skull I wanted to show you is the squirrel skull. So you can see here, this is just the top part of it. You see where the eyes go. And the thing that you notice when you turn it over is here are the two front sharp teeth. So if you think about a squirrel, that they have to break through these nuts and they have to chew off pine cones to get the seeds, they need some really sharp teeth, just like lots of different rodents. And then at the back, they've got their molars. So if you see a rodent, you'll have the two front ever-growing teeth. They're always growing. And then you've got the chewers at the back. Next, and here we have the rabbit skull, another rodent, where it has a longer nose because its sense of smell is so acute. And also you can see the two front teeth here and the back molars. And here we've got a porcupine skull. You can see its flat head, and you can also see its really long front teeth that it needs for chewing wood and other sorts of things. And the final rodent skull that I'm going to show you today is the beaver skull. And as you can see, it has a nice flat top, and where the ears and the eyes would be, they're nice and high up on the skull, because as a beaver swims, it's good to have your eyes and your ears above water. You can also see the front two incisors, the sharp teeth that are used to chew wood, so they need to be sharp and strong. And they are always growing, just like every rodent. So I'm going to show you how big that tooth is. So that whole tooth is what is inside of the skull of the beaver. So one of the rodents I'd like to highlight is the gray squirrel, which lives everywhere in southern Ontario. And one of the things about the gray squirrel, as we saw last week, was that they live in the tops of trees. They're a tree squirrel in something called a dray. So this is a squirrel's nest. And if you'd like to know more about nests, that's from last week's video. But the thing I want to focus on is what they eat. With those sharp teeth we saw, they need to use them to get nuts and seeds from different sources, like acorns from an oak tree, or here we've got a pine cone. So if you come a little closer, you can see the squirrel would start with this, and it would start from the bottom and chew and take off those little bits of the pine cone, and in the end, you just have this core. And they'd eat the seed and get rid of this piece right here. Now, that leads us to our next game, which is called Cache the Stash.
Hello, I'm Earl, and I'm a squirrel. And as a squirrel, I like to stockpile my assets.
That's kind of right, Earl. As a squirrel, as a gray squirrel in particular, you like to hide your food in lots of different places. You stash your food either for the near future or for later in the winter. So in this game, Earl's going to describe what he's going to do as the squirrel.
So I gave Nature Nancy some time to memorize these items here, and as a squirrel, I'm going to go hide them in a small designated area while she's not looking, and then later she's going to come back and try and find them. All right, Nature Nancy, you can look now.
All right, here we go. Well, I seem to have found 8 out of the 9 items in the game Cache the Stash. Enjoy your game of Cache the Stash, and thank you for coming to see episode 2, The Rodents Rule. See you next time. From Nature Nancy.
She's coming back.